The first poem I'm going to read is called Solid Mahogany. But it was not the kind of table you dream about. Just a table for meat and potatoes, a tin of fruit, tarnished silver, heavy as old sorrow, built to outlast the lives of those who sat around it. Too solid to drag, it took two to lift it into place in the center of the room, occupied the whole space and squeezed you hard against the walls, reducing breaths to sighs. Low crossbars stretched from corner to corner, surly bonds waiting to stub toes, bruise ankles, keep you in your place. You knew your place. Some enchanted evening, idle notions like your heart's desires, taboo. Face facts. You ought to be grateful. The table could be expanded, but that was never needed. Everyone under suspicion. And you're leaving just what should have been expected. And now I have two glosses. The first one is a glossa based on a quatrain from Robin Sarah. Glossa for neutral days. Sun gilds the buildings, and moments of animal well-being may be all that's left to us, may well be to be grateful for neutral days. With what appetite you woke, arms open, ravenous, each day a feast you couldn't wait to begin. You knew you were destined for great fortune, not weddings or babies, dull business, maybe later. Now you were going to tilt the world, headlines and heraldings. Sun gilds the buildings on this late April afternoon as you watch children rush into the playground. Each year a new crop of toddlers, short drunken stumblers, eager for exploration, stagger through the stand, finding for the first time an ant, a worm, a dandelion. Each one needs examining. These moments of animal well-being, yours as you watch through the window, a surprise not expected when you were young and aching for mountains, pinnacles, dazzling performances, tumultuous applause. Now you see how you enjoy quiet hours of solitude, a book of poems by Paley, music, the humdrum teacups of domesticity. Maybe all that's left to us may well be contentment, the fruit of wisdom, peace of mind, not a settling for mediocrity, no more fighting for superiority. Let it go. Cardinals are nesting in the cherry tree. Lilacs are breaking into bud. Life outweighs all. Enjoy the arrival of another spring. Be glad you are well. Relax in the sun's first faint rays. Be grateful for neutral days. And this last one I was planning on reading as an old poem, and I apologize, I didn't realize there were so many people that would be here that have heard it before, so sorry about that. It's called Romantic Relations, and it's a quatrain based on from Wisława Szymborska. And the quatrain is, no one in my family has ever died of love. What happened, happened, but nothing myth-inspiring. Romeos of consumption, Juliets of diphtheria. Some have even achieved decrepitude. And that's from her family album. Romantic relations. I always wanted romantic relations, cousins fraught with passion, dying young of love. Each night I read steamy novels of rugged heroes who wooed wenches, raven-haired and beguiling. They met in the moonlight, tucked into her glove, a note saying he'd love her forever, would lay down his life, and he did, for one night of bliss with her in his arms, the stars up above. No one in my family has ever died of love, I'm sorry to say. Uncle Albert died young, but he choked on a kipper. He was eating too fast. And so as children we were always warned to chew our food slowly and watch out for those insidious bones lurking with intent to kill us too. Great-grandpa had a heart attack at 40, striding home from the docks, dropped down in the street one evening in winter, was robbed of his boots and long underwear too as he lay dying. What happened, but nothing myth-inspiring. At 20, my grandmother had a wild affair, falling unwisely for a charming rogue who, after only 3 months, found he couldn't keep his promises he'd made. And exploration being in vogue, joined in an expedition crossing the Gobi in a jeep. But Gran lived till 80 and died of anemia. Uncle George had une affaire de coeur. The lady was married. It caused quite a stir. But they both lived till 90 and died of leukemia. Romeos of consumption, Juliets of diphtheria, there are none in my family. We're all such sensible, practical souls. Our Scottish Presbyterian blood, I suppose. Grim Grandma McGregor's house was as cold as the grave. From the pictures on her parlour walls, mud-plashed Highland cattle shivered in some wintry gale, glared icy-eyed, throwed any passionate thoughts into lassitude. We grew fat on her stews, greasy and grey, on which scraps of ancient sheep floated, meals we prayed daily to be spared. Still, the family thrives, lives long, earns a good livelihood. Some have even achieved decrepitude.